You can go anywhere with trust and communication. In this video, Chief Buildings and Ironhide Construction show how open communication can create successful projects. Troy, with Ironhide Construction, you have partnered with Chief for quite some time. But tell us more about your business and what features that you really work with Chief Buildings on.
Yeah, so Ironhide Construction, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory, but we were founded in 2008. My partner Jeff Wolgamott and I became friends through a men's group, and I had eventually, about 6 months later, got laid off from a large general contractor I was working with, and Jeff and I started this business together. And then a couple years down the road, we brought on another partner in Chris Kine. And since that period of time, we really went from being during that economic recession, it was, you take whatever work you could get. So we were doing some small residential stuff, but that was not where our passions took us. So over the next couple of years, we were actually able to start doing supply and then supply erect services for different metal building brands. We actually did about 14 different brands before we ended up doing Chief, because we were just doing erection only. Well, as we started moving further down the road, we stepped into the general contractor role. So now we're kind of a double-breasted company. So we act as a supply erect contractor, supplying only Chief buildings to large, high-quality general contractors around the country. And then we also act as a general contractor on our own work. Ironhide is based out of Lincoln, Nebraska. We have an Omaha, Nebraska office, as well as North Platte. We believe that it's likely by the end of 2026, we'll likely have an office in Texas, somewhere between San Antonio and Austin.
So Troy, you mentioned that you work with Chief Buildings exclusively in some cases. What led you to choose Chief for those projects?
So for us choosing Chief was very, very easy. So we believe through and through that relationships matter. Okay. So we try to surround ourselves with those people that want to do business with us. And we also, in turn, we choose to do business with those that do business with us. We believe in that reciprocation, and it continues to prove successful for us. But ultimately, what led to make the initial leap is, as I said before, we had done a lot of erection-only services for different brands of buildings, and continuously came across customer service issues, quality control issues, detail issues, communication shortcomings, terrible scheduling. Deliveries were just, it was a guess, where we ultimately ended up doing our first Chief building with Chief, obviously, back in 2014 as a big indoor tennis facility. And we did not supply that building, but we erected it for another contractor. And the building immediately preceding that tennis facility was an alternative brand where we had over 300 issues. Clips that we had to cut off and re-weld in different locations. I mean, just unbelievable amounts of problems. And we went from that building to this tennis facility of relatively similar complexity and size. And we went from that to this Chief building and had virtually none. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if we had any issues on that. And then beyond that, just the communication that we received during that project, whenever we called somebody to ask questions, they were there answering that question immediately. And then slowly over that next year, we grew in a relationship with Gary Taylor at that time, a former district manager. And he got us to convert, if you will, to go over and start selling Chief. And since 2015, we've only sold Chief buildings. And it's been a relationship that we lean on almost literally every single day.
And Mike, as a general sales manager, you interact with so many customers like Troy. But what are some of the things that
There's nobody like us.
That's true. There's no one like you. Yeah. But I'm sure you've heard testimonials before from other builders. And as Troy just mentioned, it's the communication. What are some of the other things that you've heard from builders of why they choose to partner with Chief?
Yeah, great question. When I'm out talking to builders, and we have roughly 400 around the country, most of them are a lot easier to get along with than Troy, but, here we are. I hear a few common themes from our builders, but Troy nailed the one that we hear the most. And the word relationship is tossed around all over the place. And I suppose it means something different to everybody. But for Chief, it's core to our culture. We've got over 60 years of growth and success built on the shoulders of builders like Troy. Our mission statement is built around relationships. So that seems to resonate, I think, with our customers, those who have similar values, those who want to be in that relationship based business where they're not just looking for a vendor and a low price or whatever it happens to be that's driving their business model. It's aligned values and aligned strategies and us working together and the satisfaction and reward of being able to do that with builders like Troy.
I heard somebody really smart say this a little while ago, that our relationship is not just transactional, right? That transaction is at the end of the relationship, not the forefront.
And that's a great point because we all know about first impressions, right? And so, Mike, is there something that Chief ensures we do at the very beginning to instill confidence in builders who are, like Troy was a decade ago, wondering who they're going to go with?
Sure. Very important for us to get our arms around our builders as soon as possible. We do ask that they attend a builder school. We have 3 or 4 of those around the country at various times of the year. And I think that's fairly common in our industry. But what we try to do is it's not just about teaching products and process. It's more about getting to know our builders, getting to know their business, getting to know them on a personal basis, and giving them an opportunity to meet other people beyond just the district manager they're working with on a daily basis. So whether it's myself or Dave Pugach, our president, or other members of our leadership team, we make those folks and project managers, estimators available because ultimately this is a team-based relationship. It's not just with one representative on our company. We're all vested in this relationship.
I'll touch on one thing you just said. So, but on the training side, the Builder Advisory Council or the builder schools, you said it's not uncommon. I disagree. I think it is uncommon. I think those sorts of things only happen in what I would consider the premium grade buildings, the top tier. You've got a lot of these brands you can order online that the responsibility falls on whomever's ordering in. They may not understand what loads and codes, what that really even means, yet they're putting the onus on whoever that end user is. Might be a farmer who's ordering a building for his, pasture ground or something. And this person likely doesn't understand the loads and codes and requirements. So by you guys having these builder schools, these trainings, it ensures a quality product is delivered to the field and also put up with excellence. So,
well,
yeah.
Touching on the builder school, and what we're trying to do is create a collaborative situation where it's not just a risk management thing. We're working together to nail down the right scope, to create the best opportunity for success mutually. So that's what we really try to focus on in builder school and beyond.
Yeah.
And Troy, you mentioned the Builder Advisory Council.
Yeah.
And I do think that's something that Chief values so much, and it's unique to Chief and what we do. So, Mike, can you expand on what the Builder Advisory Council is and who's a part of that, and what do we glean from that relationship?
So currently it's made up of 9 members of our builder base. They serve 3-year terms, and we get together twice a year to talk about all kinds of things. We talk about what's going on in the economy in their respective areas, the challenges they're having as a business, whether it's labor related or whatever it happens to be. And then we talk a lot about, what we're doing as a company. We share what's going on behind the scenes. But the most important thing we do, and I think this is where we kind of stand out a little bit, is that we solicit input from our builders. And Troy, you've been on the council, so I hope you can verify this. But for us, it's not lip service. We're taking these suggestions. We're employing the ones we can. We can't do everything at all times. We can't always do it as quickly as maybe they would like us to do it. Change is hard at times, but our drive in terms of improvement, the things that we have on the radar in terms of what we're trying to do as a business and improve, is driven very strongly by our Builders Advisory Council.
And Troy, you've been on that council.
I have.
What did you get out of it?
So for me, there's a multitude of things, right? So for one, it's a relationship that I grew with different builders from around the country, which is of paramount importance to us and to me, because when we run into an issue that we may not have seen before, or we have an idea, we can actually call and talk to these different builders from around the country to see, A, how have you handled that? issue if you ran into it. B, how's your path to market? How has it changed? As economies change, how we get in front of our owners change. But then beyond that, also from the side of just chief buildings, what we find as members of the BAC, what we find to be very valuable is the fact that, yes, you may not do everything that we say, right? And you shouldn't. I mean, you all are running your own business, right? But the fact that you're actually honoring us by listening to our opinion and implementing many of the suggestions that we make. I mean, iron sharpens iron, right? We're helping to make each other better. And then right now I understand, because one of my team members is on this, it's the Builder Advisory Council for the boots on the ground, the erectors, the guys who are actually making this happen. And I cannot tell you how excited Ryan is to be part of that. And he's already seeing the fruits of it that, we're bringing ideas to him. Our guys in the field are bringing items to him. So he's prepped and ready for next week's kickoff meeting.
Maybe I should have scheduled it for more than an hour.
Yeah. Yes. You're going to need more. With Ryan on it, you're going to need more than an hour.
This is something new we're doing. We're really excited about it, and kind of a maiden voyage, if you will. So we'll see how this evolves, but I'm excited about it. And we'll take all that information that we garner next week from that meeting, share it with our Builders Advisory Council. We're meeting in Albuquerque in early October, and see what we can do to implement some of the changes I'm sure you guys are going to come up with.
Yeah. Yep.
So I know we've talked quite a bit about relationships, and I agree that that's the foundation, but it goes beyond just the relationship that you have with one person. And as you were just talking about the Builder Advisory Council, it goes beyond just those leaders of those companies. It goes to the boots on the ground. And so, Mike, when you think about that, how does that help ensure the future of repeat business for Chief?
We talk a lot about engagement. Again, it's not just between myself and Troy or with Aaron and Troy. We know a lot of people within Ironhide's organization and vice versa. There's always somebody that they can call and vice versa. So I think it really boils down to the enjoyment of working together on a successful project. We all know construction is a challenging business. There's problems that happen every day, and we're not immune to those either. But it's about how we work through those together and coming up with a solution that works best for everybody to ensure a happy customer in the end. And that's the key. So if you have that, you're going to keep coming back and working together.
Yeah, to your point, we're very fortunate because there's not a single person in my company that's not smarter than I in many things or better than I in many things. So the fact that Chief is also relying on their employee input and their contractor input is enormous. So thank you.
Well, we are excited to see that relationship continue to grow, to bring more people into the fold. And we know the next project's just going to continue to get better. So thank you both so much for the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Troy.
Thanks for joining us with this conversation. If you want to learn more, visit the link in the description below.